Let's get real. Are you ready? It's time. All right, welcome to Let's Get Real, Chattin' with Catherine. This is your host, Catherine Whalen-Costin. We've got a great show for you today. It's my pleasure to introduce Rachel White Seeing Owl to the show. Rachel is a gifted speaker and intuitive. She has counseled people for over 38 years and facilitated many workshops. Her skill is to intuitively discern where individuals are holding on to negative, limiting thoughts and beliefs. She will guide you to eliminate belief systems that no longer serve you and replace them with clear, life-enhancing ones. If you find yourself with an issue, a block, or a problem, she will help you to become clear so that you can move forward into a happy and healthy way of being, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. Her sessions are gentle, firm, loving, and compassionate as she takes you on the journey towards self-realization. Wow. Welcome, Rachel.
Wow, Catherine, what an introduction. This is going to be something to live up to this.
I'm quite certain that you can.
I'm so honored to be here with you and our audience. I'm so looking forward to moving forward and bringing all of you along as my co-workers on this planet. I've been waiting for all of you. Thank you for joining us.
That is wonderful, and isn't that the truth? We've sort of seen ourselves as individuals when we are really a collective, and it's awesome to see that people are starting to see that we are not just individuals.
That's a beautiful segue into what I was going to talk about, Catherine. We're already on the same thought process. This is awesome.
Wonderful.
I was going to share with you and our listeners my favorite thing I speak about, because I sit in my office and look into this magnificent tree, that when the leaves are all out, thousands of them, it reminds me that I am but a leaf, and I see the tree as the universe, as source, as God, as the great I am. And we as humans have forgotten that we're all leaves connected to the tree. This is time in 2012 where we're able to remember who we are, because we've forgotten who we are. That's all that's going on, is just forgotten. And after 11/11/11, all of that dropped away, and we get to just be our truly magnificent, outrageously ourselves.
So is that when you really noticed the energy shift, the November 11th of 2011?
Well, I remember noticing it in the 70s, along with many other workers, and we've had several of these shifts occur. The difference now is because the internet has made it so accessible that information is being passed readily now because of the internet. We're now realizing that this has been going on all along, but only a few of us sort of knew about it because we were in touch. So what I wanted to share with you is that everyone's been, I shouldn't say everyone, many of us on the planet have been waiting for the other shoe to drop, as it were. We've been waiting for this great shift in humanity and waiting for this convoluted thing we have in our mind that somehow, you know, a magic wand is going to come down and the whole planet's going to become something else. First of all, stop waiting. There's no such thing. It's not going to happen, because guess what, folks? It already has.
Exactly.
So put your toes on the edge of your surfboard and just ride the wave. And what's happening is that we have been working so diligently on creating and learning and growing, and the time for all of that is now over. And people think they're broken and they have to fix and they have to do all this stuff. I gotta tell you, let it all drop away, because what you now know, you know, the, the kind of trick, so to speak, now is to just act on what you know. And what I'm discovering with my clients, as the guides come through and speak to them, it's all about taking action. You know, you can have all the ingredients for your cake on the counter. It's just a bag of flour. It's just a teaspoon of salt. It's just some cinnamon. And by themselves, they're really nothing. But unless you put them in the bowl and add water and stir, nothing's going to happen. So
That's a beautiful analogy for life, isn't it?
It is. And somebody once asked what I do, and I said, well, I just show up. That's what I do. And that's what the universe is calling on us, to take action. Show up. Open your eyes, look around you. Signals are everywhere. And people ask me how I do the work I do, and I'm sort of sum it up this way, Catherine.
Yes.
That I'm the common sense spiritual guidance for the everyday person.
Well, you know, this is partly what's really drawn me to creating this radio show, this process of interviewing the wisdom of the world, which I see you as part of, the people who have captured that knowledge and are able to apply it in practical ways in our lives, to take what I call woo-woo, and because I keep hearing that, oh, this is all woo-woo, take that out of it, because I think that is the barrier that is preventing people from going within and having the confidence to trust that inner wisdom that's always been there. But we've so put up a wall that, you know, people who have psychic gifts or who are able to speak to the guides or have a personal, strong, powerful intuition, somehow they're odd. And I think it's becoming more clear that we all have it. We all have that ability. And the key is to find people that can help us to, first of all, recognize it in ourselves, like you do, and also to bring it forth so we can learn to trust it. I think that's really what a lot of light workers are doing now, is stepping into that ability to support the rest of the people who are seeking to have that confidence. Do you see it that way as part of your role to?
I couldn't agree with you more. I couldn't have said this better myself, Catherine. It's exactly what I'm on the planet to do. And
well, the planet is in this shift too. I mean, we're all in this together. And you know, there's a lot of or there has been a lot of talk about 2012 being the doomsday and stuff, and I kind of wanted to get your feel of that, because my personal opinion, I've expressed it, so I have no problem expressing it again, is I see this as more of the golden age, the time we've been waiting for, not the peril and the doomsday, although it could be uncomfortable on our way to that peace and harmony. But I actually have so much hope, and so much, it's more than hope, it's a feeling of confirmation within me that this too is possible. Do you feel that? Do you, or, you know, I'm not trying to suggest what your opinions are, but I know this is where I'm coming from, this feeling of we're ready for the better. We've already done the chaos for long enough.
Exactly. And I agree, and I'm going to take it to the next level.
Please do.
So I'm going to ask you right now, do you want to play for a moment?
Sure.
Let's play, everyone. So everyone sitting at home listening, just get comfortable for a second. Feet flat on the floor if you can, or if lying down, that's great too. And uncross your arms or unhook your hands, because we want a real connection here. And I'm going to give you a thought, and I want to see how this resonates in your bodies. You'll feel it somewhere in your body. So, deep breath in, and out. And while we're doing that, let me remind you, here in a group, when you breathe out, don't breathe your out breath across the room to the other person. They don't need stuff you're breathing out. I watch people blow their stuff all over everybody else. Try breathing it down into Mother Earth where it's transmuted. I tend to breathe down to the ground, down to the floor, not out to everyone else. So, here's my idea. What if 2012 was all about death? But try this on. The death of the old stuff to make room for the new. So this stuff about, oh, there's going to be doom and gloom and death and oh my goodness and oh, what's going to happen? It's yummy, bring it on, welcome it. Because what you're doing is getting rid of all that does not serve you. We have been the master of our ego thoughts and lower self-thinking. We want that all gone. So that feel of doom and gloom that's going around only has to do with your self not wanting to die. But what we're going to do and embrace your higher selves, that beautiful, still, small voice within all of us that is now bubbling to the surface. It's time. And just trusting that beautiful inner wisdom. How does that feel?
Wow.
Where did you feel that, Catherine?
I felt that right in my lower abdomen, sacral chakra.
Yummy.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
So I hope people have chili bumps out there all over their arms.
Well, you know,
that's what's going on.
What's amazing to me is that it is so simple.
Life is simple. We make it hard.
Yes.
I mean, look out. It's winter time. Many parts of North America right now, we're in winter. And these snowstorms, if you look outside and you see the little sparrows, lots of birds still around. Right here in British Columbia, where I live, there are hummingbirds that are wintering. Can you imagine? Hummingbirds.
Well, I don't think they're wintering in Alberta, let me tell you, or Saskatchewan this year. I don't think they're wintering in Alberta or Saskatchewan at minus 39.
But there are sparrows in Alberta and Saskatchewan. Yes. And if you look at a sparrow's legs, they remind me of pencil lead. You know, the little leads you put in mechanical pencils.
Yes.
And you look at these tiny little toes, and the bird is hopping around and just being at one in perfect trust. And if Creator is looking after those tiny little toes, what's he doing for us?
Exactly.
And so when you look at your pets, your dogs and your cats and your parakeets and all your lovely little animals that people have as pets, you know, you don't see them sitting on the couch wringing their paws going, oh my God, where's dinner going to be? And what am I cooking? And how am I going to pay for my crunchies? And oh, my water bowl, I hope there's water in it. And oh, you know, I need to go out and, you know.
Well, you know, that's the amazing thing is that they are always in the now.
Exactly. Exactly.
And we can learn a lot from that. And I know a lot of people will say, but if I don't think about what's going to happen next week, it's not going to happen. But that is just a mindset, a habit, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, God doesn't bring you to the beautifully set table with all the crystal and the china and the gorgeous, comfortable chair. And the table's sitting, you know, your chair is sitting on the rug, and then he waits for you just about to sit down, pulls the chair out. That's not what the universe does. It welcomes you and takes your napkin and spreads it on your lap and puts this beautiful banquet in front of you. The trouble is you think the banquet should look a certain way. Humans is they think, you know, that the car they wanted. I had a client who had this image of a car they wanted. it had to be blue, and it had to have this and that and the other, and the tires had to look a certain way. And over to their left was this yellow car. And they go, no, no, I don't want the yellow one, I want the blue one. And they never got their blue car because they didn't accept the yellow one that was only cost them $10.
Wow.
That they could have sold and got the blue car. Because we're so used to things have to be a certain way.
Well, that's where the old, I remember hearing, we are created in the image and likeness of God, but we've spent our time on the planet trying to recreate God in our image.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh.
One of the things I share with people in the work I do is that I say that I'm not in shipping. And here's what I mean by that. You go to a company and you order something. Let's say, IKEA or one of these big box stores, and you order a sink or you order a cupboard. And you just go to the order desk and order it. Say, I want that one. And it's the same thing for us. We just remember that the universe works for you, right? So you can ask for anything. Now the order goes in the back and a bunch of people take the order and they do what they need to do, and then eventually someone who's head of shipping sends the cupboard out and you drive around and put the cupboard in your car. And that's how the universe so simply works. I know people don't believe me, but people that know me and see my physical world shake their heads and go, how did you do this for $1? And the only reason I used $1 half the time is because, I bought a car for $1.
Right.
And the only reason I had to come up with $1 is because the legal paperwork had to be done, and our society doesn't accept the word free.
Right. Right.
So, because we accept free means cheap. Free means broken. Free means you don't want it, so I'll take it.
Isn't that interesting? Because if we have that kind of mentality, and at the same time as we're trying, or should I say believe, that free isn't good, then how on earth can we expect the universe to give us something for free?
Exactly.
So we have to shift our mindset in order to accept all that God is, the universe, creator wants to give us. I mean, that's a big wall. That's a big aha for me.
Exactly. And so what happens is we get all caught up in how shipping happens. I'm not in shipping. I'm in order taking. I just give the orders and I let shipping do their job. And so we're not in charge of the hows.
So that's the let go and let God.
Right. God knows what she's doing.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm working with a client right now, a business, a very large business right now, and we've started a whole project, and they're just so excited. They've spent 22 years struggling. They're a company that relies heavily on donations. So I asked the head of the company that in December, and you can all do this for yourselves too, our audience. Picture yourself on a stage with a microphone. It's December 2012, and you're looking out at all your friends, your family, and your co-workers, and pets, and everybody. And you're shouting from the rooftops what you've accomplished in 2012. And so I asked the CEO of this company, what will you be saying on your microphone? And she looked me right in the eye and she said, I'm going to say that we broke even this year.
Oh my goodness.
And I looked at her and I said, wow, you've got the word broken in your vocabulary. And she looked at me wide-eyed and she got it. In that moment, how powerful that thoughts and words are things.
That's amazing.
And so, like, going back to the tree with leaves, the tree doesn't go out on the branches and go, there's a brown leaf, oh my goodness, I'm broken. It just grows another leaf.
Wow.
You know, I'm looking out at this beautiful tree in my office and there's not a leaf to be had on it. It's wintertime here. Does that mean the tree's dead? Absolutely not. It's rebirth, regrowth, rebirth, regrowth.
And there needs to be a time for that rest as well.
Absolutely. And so 2011 and before 2011 was all about resting and the nourishing and taking in the food and the water to grow. We don't need to do it anymore, folks. You've got all the tools you need. You've stockpiled, you've got all the nourishment. Now you just got to trust and use it.
Now, I wanted to get your insight into something that's been, I think I mentioned to you some time ago, I was very active in politics at one time because I thought that was the way to create a better world. And then I very quickly understood that the system itself was not in integrity. And what occurred to me is that we want systems that are fair, that are honest, and so forth. But I think this is my own perception, is that we are not being authentic, like really authentic with ourselves. And so we project that out and the world looks like it's dishonest everywhere we go. So none of our systems are going to be able to actually function in the harmonious way that we say we want, because we keep thinking that we'll fix the world first and then we'll change ourselves. Is that, how do you know, because you see all the financial systems and the poverty in the world and so forth. Is it partly or mostly to do with our own, each individual beliefs that we're projecting and creating that kind of a world?
Yes. You see, humans are habitual thinkers. And I sort of use this, here I go again with my everyday spirituality.
I love it. I love it.
I'm all about the story. So if you stand 12 people in front of a wall that's painted, you will get 12 different versions of what color the paint is. Some people will use food as a term. The male energy sees things as very kind of cut and dry generally. If you show a brown wall to a man, the men, you know, like my husband, I'll just use my husband. I don't want to paint everyone with this, but if I just show a brown wall to my husband, he'll just say it's brown.
Right.
If you show it to one of my women friends, they'll say, oh, it's a warm peach with a brown undertone, or they'll say it's warm wheat, or they'll give it a very specific color. And then sometimes people will look at things through their library of experience. And because they've painted their own library, they've got caught up in shipping and all the hows, they aren't necessarily open to a different way of looking at things.
Well, I'm going to take this too, because this makes me think of something. If you don't have a reference point in your library mind for something, that you can't see it, you can't perceive it. And where this reminds me of when I first started meditating, and I would have activity going on in my brain, but I couldn't get a clear understanding of what was happening. And I'm sure it was because I had no reference point for a place of peace. I had a lot of reference for the chaos, and that's what you're making me think of, is that if we've lived on this planet for a long time in chaos. So if we look at a situation that is, or if we're trying to create peace, but we have no reference in our library, How do we do that?
That's right. And what I'm trying to share with people more now than ever, and I've spent my life doing this work, and now people are starting to understand what I've been telling them all along, because I get calls from clients I had a year ago saying, Rachel, I get it. What I'm sharing with you all now is in the moment where that short breath comes in your chest, where it might even go all the way up to panic. In that moment of disconnect, always just take a breath, just breathe. And then go into your feelings, not your brain. And that's what's happening now on the planet. We are a feeling individual. Go into how you feel in a situation. And there's where your higher self, that innate wisdom, is going to guide you. You know, we have forgotten that we've had hundreds of lifetimes. Surely to God we learned something. You know, really.
That's so funny.
Haven't
And it's
you
so
learned?
true.
I mean, come on. You have, and here's the way you can tell if what you've learned. The things that come easily for us, the things that are our passion, the things that are our fun, we have learned before. The things that tick us off, the things that we struggle with, are the things that we've come here to learn. You know, I get hundreds of people ask me, what did I come here to learn? And I tell them all the same thing, and I said, when you've learned that, come back and see me. I've yet to have one in 38 years ever come back to see me. And here's the thing. We all have the same purpose on this planet. And no one likes to hear this because it sounds too simple, and yet no one does it. And I'm including myself here, folks. It's a tough one. So, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Here's what you came here to learn. To help others.
And that does seem simple, but you
That's
know.
it. No judgment, no painting them with a different brush, no painting them with our library of experience. Just reach out and say, how can I be of service in this moment?
Wow, that concludes part one of our interview on Let's Get Real, Chattin with Catherine, with Rachel White Seeing Owl. You can check out Rachel's website at www.meetguides.com, and you can listen to part two of this interview, where we get into some more very interesting subjects on this website, on YouTube,